Hello, my name is Bill Schumann, and I am privileged to be your host for this exciting and rewarding Lifelong 120 seminar. I'm a nationally registered dietitian and a licensed dietitian in the state of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. I've been working with people for the past 30 years, helping them to get healthy, stay healthy, and remain independent in their lives. And independence means that you're able to do the things that you want to do, when you want to do them, and as often as you choose. This Lifelong 20 seminar emphasizes life. You should have a long life if you remain healthy. But we all want more than just being alive for a long time. We want to look good and feel good. That's what this seminar is all about. A healthy look is a good look. So welcome to the Lifelong 120 seminar. It's true, you can't control how long you live, but you can control how short your life is. Eden Holistic Health and Wellness wants to show you how to live your life more abundantly. It starts with eating right and treating yourself right. Then you can have a high quality life for as long as possible. But how long is possible? How long are you supposed to live? I have news for you, as it's as much longer than the average lifespans of today. Our answer comes from the oldest book in the Bible. The Bible tells us in Genesis 6:3 that God intended for us to live to be 120 years old. It's right there in the Bible. It says, "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years." Now, some say that the 120 is the maximum lifespan, and the average lifespan is around 70 years. But I don't believe this. I believe that we were all meant to live 120 years. In Acts 10:34, Peter tells us that God is no respecter of persons. This means that God treats us all the same. He loves us all. Therefore, He would intend for all of us to live for 120 years. So isn't that exciting? We can almost double our lifespan if we treat ourselves well and live a healthy lifestyle. And that's what we're going to talk about today. First of all, is it possible to live 120 years? Well, it most certainly is. Jean Louise Calment lived for 122 years and 64 days. See, she's already pushing the envelope. Jean was not athletic, but she was active. There's a difference, and active people live longer than athletes. More on this when we discuss the exercise gurus. Jean was not particularly health conscious. You can overdo that eating right thing, you know. But we'll talk more about that when we discuss the diet gurus. Jean did, however, consume a lot of olive oil, so that's the secret, right? Should we all drink olive oil? Is it the fountain of youth? Should we drink it by the gallon so we can live forever? Well, I think not. But let's see what other secrets the super-centenarians have for us. So Jean wasn't the only one. Look at all these other people who lived close to 120 years. You can go all the way down the list, and the person ranked at the bottom is still over 15 years old. Did they all consume olive oil? Were they all active? Were any of them exercise or diet gurus? Well, look, there's more. You can go all the way down this list to the person ranked 53, and they're still living over 114 years. So we have 53 people here who have lived 114 years or more. There are even more. This list goes to Mary Anna Boone, ranked 77, and she is still over 114 years. They come from all parts of the world and all walks of life. At first glance, we see one characteristic that they all seem to share. Most of them are women. And so why is that? The super-centenarians were not modern women. They lived in a world where women did not have the same stress level as men, and therefore they lived longer. That's not true today. Women are now in the workforce as much or more than men, and they have the same stress level. Guess what? Today's women have the same average lifespan as men. So, we can conclude that stress shortens your life. And that's a darn shame, because there's nothing we can do about it. Or is there? Let's look at the lives of some of these lifelong record breakers and see what secrets we can discover. Jean Kalman. She consumed olive oil on a regular basis, but did you know that she smoked and she drank and she ate 2 pounds of chocolate per day? No way. Those things are bad, 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 bad. So how bad are they? We also see that Jean died of natural causes. This is key. It's one of the secrets to a long life, and it lies in the fact that they died of natural causes. But let's investigate further. The second person on the list is Sarah Noss. She lived to be 119 years and 97 days. Now, Sarah was a working woman. She was a manager, no less. There's a lot of stress there, but she loved her work. She was a seamstress. And she also ate chocolate. That's proof positive that we need to eat more chocolate. But look, Sarah also ate potato chips, and she watched a lot of TV. We know those are bad, bad, bad. Can't have those. But look, here's another key. She valued her health. This means that she did not abuse her body because she wanted to stay healthy. Staying healthy is an important key, an important lifelong key. But look here. Sarah died of natural causes. Now that's very interesting. Let's investigate further. The third on the list is Lucy Hannah. She's number 3, but we don't know that much about her. Her age was a matter of controversy for several years, but researchers finally confirmed that her age when she died was 117 years and 248 days. There's no known public picture of her, but she is the oldest confirmed African American person. Her parents were freed slaves. Undoubtedly, Lucy came from a family of hard-working people. Marie Louise Mueller was also hardworking. She lived to be 117 years old. Now Marie was a vegetarian. That's very interesting. The vegetarian diet is very healthy, but do you need to be a vegetarian to be in the Lifelong 120 Club? I think not. If you do not like being a vegetarian, guess what? Trying to be one can create a lot of personal stress, and that will take you out. The vegetarian diet appears throughout our study of super-centenarians. There is no doubt about its benefits. But let's continue. Marie Capovilla. She wasn't a vegetarian, but she lived to be almost 117 years. She missed it by 2 weeks. She lived to be 116 years old and 347 days. She's the oldest person to have lived in a developing country, Ecuador. She was, however, she was part of the elite. She didn't smoke, and she avoided hard liquor. She loved social functions. In other words, she was very active. She died of pneumonia, and you have to wonder how she caught pneumonia. Was she doing something foolish like getting caught in the rain or not bundling up on a cold winter's night? It's important to take steps you need to take to stay healthy. Tang Ikai was the oldest person from Japan. She lived to be 116 years old, and she died of a stroke. Now, this is the first person on our list that died of a cardiovascular disease. Unlike the general population, people who live a long time generally do not die of strokes or heart attacks. Elizabeth Bolden. She lived to be 116 years old, but she died of natural causes like most of the other super-centenarians. She had no diet secrets. Whenever when asked, she would say she didn't know why she lived so long. She was too busy living life and enjoying life to be trying to figure out why she was still alive. Bessie Cooper is the first scholar to appear on the list. She lived to be 116 years, and she attributed her long lifespan to minding her own business. She lived on a farm, and she avoided junk food. Now, I would love to know what she considered to be junk food. This seems to be a derogatory classification for foods that you consider unhealthy based on notions and associations and observations and just a good dose of gossip. But then again, Bessie was a scholar, so maybe she had something there. Bessie died of a stomach flu. Once again, you gotta stay healthy. Jerome Kimura is the first man on the list, and he comes in at 116 years and 54 days. He is also our first, quote, health-conscious person. He valued his health, and he worked at staying healthy. Jerome attributed his long life to eating small portions. Now, this is another key. Do not overtax your body by eating large meals. If you're going down the wrong road, if you're eating only 1 or 2 meals a day, you need to spread your food out throughout the day. He was also active, and he also died of natural causes. There it is. Once again, dying of natural causes. We're beginning to see some patterns, but we have not explored one aspect of longevity that is usually on everyone's mind, and that is location. Does your location or where you live determine how long you will live. Let's take a look. According to this chart, residents of Japan have the longest average lifespan, have an overall life expectancy of 83 years. Now, 2 of our top super-centenarians came from Japan, so this is impressive. And also, tragically, the Fukushima disaster will probably reduce this life expectancy. Let's look at some other countries. Notice that Israel, France, Canada, Germany, England all rank higher than the United States in life expectancy. The United States is way down here and ranks 33 in the world and comes in at 79 overall life expectancy. But really, that's only 4 years less than Japan's #1 ranking. But it's also a far cry from the life expectancy that was in the early 1900s. Then the average lifespan was 50 or less. Thus, we can conclude that our food processing, chemical additives, the insecticides, and all the inorganic fertilizers have been good for our health. Right? Am I right? Well, the evidence right there is irrefutable. But of course it's irrefutable. But of course it's refutable. We have made great strides in making sure that people in civilized countries have enough to eat and do not die of the common cold or from infection. Nothing shortens your lifespan more than starvation, untreated sickness, or infection. So that is what has caused our life expectancy to improve. But we are far from our intended lifespan, lifelong 120. Where do some of our world competitors fall in the life expectancy ratings? Look at China, it ranks 49. And Iran is all the way down to 92. So where's Russia? Russia ranks all the way down to 118 with a life expectancy of 69. And once we get to the underdeveloped countries, the life expectancy drops to under 50 years once again. So you can see the matter of civilization influences our life expectancy. If we have enough to eat, and we have indoor plumbing, and you have access to health care, your life expectancy improves by 20 to 30 years. Now, to go beyond that, we need more emphasis on eating right, taking care of ourselves, and avoiding certain things. Let's look at some of the secrets of the super-centenarians. Most people who live a long time have a list of foods that they swear by and recommend for everyone. Some have special drinks and recipes and other foods. Many have confidence in vegetarian diet. Many encourage fish and vegetables. None of them encourage you to eat more beef and pork. No one recommends sausage or bacon. And eat all the sugar you can is never recommended. Some may drink wine, but no one is recommending wine, and certainly not beer or hard liquor. No one says make sure you smoke, and no one recommends illicit drugs. Look here though. Height seems to be a factor. You need to be shorter to live longer. Tall people don't live as long as short people. Perhaps that is why we don't have giants roaming the land anymore. You can't change how tall you are, so let's look at some of the things you can control. Diet. Is diet a factor? Probably, but how important is it? Let's take a look at some of the diet gurus and how long they lived. Adele Davis. Oh, what a disappointment she was to the profession of dietetics. She was a registered dietitian, and she sold out to the food fad industry. She was, in fact, the founder of the modern-day food fad industry. She was a master at communication of half-truths and flagrant claims that had little or no basis in reality. She sold millions of books by preying on the fears and desires of mothers, fathers, students, and children around the world. Her books talked about the evils of sugar and processed foods and promoted strict diet regimens for protecting yourself from cancer and heart disease. She died of cancer at age 70. Avoid sugar, salt, white bread, beef, pork, sausage, bacon, and anything else that tastes good, and you can live to be 10 years less than the average person who ignores all this and just lives their lives. Adele Davis got what she wanted, your money. Pritikin. The Pritikin diet was very popular in years gone by. It was a very low-fat diet, and it was supposed to prevent heart disease and promote longevity. The Pritikin Longevity Center still exists today. Dr. Pritikin died at age 70. He didn't even make average longevity. Dr. Atkins. We all know about the Atkins diet. It's the low-carbohydrate diet that sends your body into an unnatural state of ketosis that resembles starvation. You can lose weight on the diet, but it's very bad for your heart, and the weight is regained if you go back to a well-balanced diet. Dr. Atkins died of a heart attack at age 72. Again, he did not even make the average age, and he died of complications or risks from his own diet regimen. Jim Fixx was an exercise guru of the 70s and 80s. He was also a diet guru. He promoted extreme exercise regimens of jogging and a very low-fat diet. He died of a heart attack while running at age 52. Jim Fixx demonstrated that it is possible to over-exercise. He was not active. He was obsessing over exercise and diet. This was physical and mental stress due to over-exercising and eating an unbalanced diet. Jack LaLanne was a fitness and diet guru. He promoted good stretching and calisthenics and a fresh, wholesome diet. He encouraged everyone to avoid sugar and processed foods. Now, although his exercise and diet regimens were reasonable, he died prematurely at age 96. Why was his death premature? Because he could have lived much longer. He died of pneumonia because he refused to go to the doctor and continued his daily exercise routine up until the day he died. So there are times when you simply need your rest. There are times when you need to go to a doctor. Jack LaLanne put too much emphasis on his exercise regimen and too much faith in his diet regimen. His body needed rest, and it needed the care of a doctor, and he refused to give his body either, and he died because of it. So we've looked at longevity from many perspectives, but one of them has offered, but none of them have offered any answers to living longer in a healthier life. However, if we look closer, we can see what longevity is about or what is missing. Notice that the super-centenarians did not die of heart attacks or cancer. The same cannot be said of the supposed experts that take your money in exchange for super-duper diet and exercise regimens, and we're supposed to prevent cancer and heart disease. The people who live the longest are not the ones that follow strict diets or take gobs of vitamins or special protein drinks. They are not the bodybuilders, and they are not the exercise fanatics. So let's look at what longevity is about. Longevity is about activity, not exercise. It's about small, well-balanced, frequent meals, not stress-inducing strict diets of no fat, no sugar, no salt. It's about enjoying your food, not avoiding your food. It's about staying healthy. And one of the most important things for you to achieve to do that is to get your rest. Of course, it involves no illicit drugs and cutting down or cutting out the alcohol and smoking. So this is not rocket science, and these things are not secrets. The two main diseases to avoid in order to live longer are cancer and heart disease. So how do you stay clear of these? Well, preventing cancer. To prevent cancer, you have to have a healthy immune system. Scientists believe that we all have cancer cells in our bodies, and it's the job of our immune system to keep cancer in check. Guess what? Stress reduces your immunity and makes you more susceptible to cancer. Guess what? Not getting enough rest reduces your immunity and makes you more susceptible to cancer. Guess what? Grief and depression reduce your immunity and make you more susceptible to cancer. So, how do you boost your immune system? First of all, you get enough rest. Secondly, avoid stress at all costs. Get professional help if you have difficulty coping with grief and/or depression. Now, some other things you can do to avoid cancer are staying out of the sun and using sunscreen. From a nutritional standpoint, you need to consume more antioxidants and limit your processed foods. This means eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, and eat more fresh fish, chicken, and turkey. Now, where have you heard about eating your fruits and vegetables? You've been hearing about that from your mother since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. Well, what are these antioxidants? What are they all about? What are antioxidants? Well, these are chemicals that counteract the effects of natural radiation from the sun and the effects of chemicals and additives in our environment. So, additives in our foods and processing are here to stay. We need those things to feed everybody on this earth, so they're here to stay. So where can you get antioxidants to counteract them? I'm glad you asked. Good old vitamin C is a very good antioxidant. You need to load up on it. You do this by drinking your orange juice every day. You can get it in tomato juice also and V8 juice. And most green vegetables are high in vitamin C. Some people take vitamin C supplements, and you can do this also. I don't recommend more than 500 milligrams of vitamin C. In fact, I don't recommend more than the RDI of vitamin C. But 500 milligrams, anything above that, your blood becomes saturated in vitamin C at 500 milligrams, and taking more of that is just absolutely pointless. But you don't need the vitamin C supplements. Just drink your orange juice. But drink it, get plenty of orange juice and your green vegetables, but you need to eat them every day. That's important. That's the important part. You need the protection every day, not just occasionally or when you're coming down with a cold. You need to drink your orange juice or your grapefruit juice or your V8 juice or eat your green vegetables every single day. Turmeric. Turmeric curcumin. Curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric. Turmeric is a very promising supplement that scientists are becoming more and more excited about. It seems to have some special cancer prevention properties. Now, turmeric is also known as the spice curry. You don't need to go out and buy turmeric supplements. You can simply cook with more curry or sprinkle it on your food. That word is astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is the most powerful antioxidant in our food supply. It's the pink color in salmon and shrimp. So, eat more salmon and shrimp, or eat it as often as you can. You don't need to take astaxanthin supplements. Remember, it's an antioxidant. It is the most powerful one, but you can also drink more orange juice and tomato juice. Probiotics. Probiotics are the bacteria that occur in your intestines. They are the good bacteria that play a major role in the health of your immune system. These bacteria, or they're also called flora, are very beneficial, and it's important to make sure your intestines are completely saturated with them. If you don't, bad bacteria can overcome the good bacteria and create a tremendous risk of cancer. So, how do you make sure that you have plenty of good bacteria in your intestines? You do that by eating yogurt with active cultures. That's known as Activia yogurt or Dannon yogurt. Or you can read right on the label. It'll tell you active cultures. If it doesn't say active cultures, they aren't there. You can also drink acidophilus milk. That's a special milk that you'll find in most grocery stores. It's just simply milk that has acidophilus bacteria, one of the main good bacteria in your intestines. Now you can also take probiotic supplements. Now these can be expensive, so you might want to take advantage of the first alternative, the first two, the yogurt or the acidophilus milk. But also realize that you don't need to take probiotic supplements or eat the yogurt every day, just 2 or 3 times a week. Here's a good one for you. The benefits of good old-fashioned Lipton tea or Tetley tea. This is the ordinary, nothing special tea that you find in your supermarket. It turns out that we don't drink enough tea. We Americans prefer coffee. Now the Japanese and the British love their tea. Guess who lives the longest? Tea is a wonderful antioxidant. The idea is to infuse your bloodstream with tea on a regular basis. Doctors say drink more tea. They never say drink more coffee. So if you can make the switch to tea, then make it. It's better for you, and it can be iced tea or hot tea. And that is unsweetened tea. Leave out the sugar. And also leave out the sweet and low. Develop a taste for the tea, not the sweetness. If you drink tea and get your vitamin C every day and take your probiotics or eat your yogurt with active cultures several times a week, you will be making great strides towards preventing cancer. So now let's look at heart disease. Heart disease accounts for 1 in every 4 deaths worldwide. You can prevent it by keeping your blood pressure down, keeping your cholesterol down, and keeping your weight down. This is easier said than done, we all know that, but there are some things you can do to help yourself. Well, one of the first things are omega-3 fatty acids. You see that everywhere now. You get your omega-3 fatty acids, and this will go a long ways towards preventing sudden death from heart attacks. So where do you get them? Well, you get omega-3 fatty acids from fish. Eat more fish. Eat less beef and pork. Omega-3 fatty acids are supplements are everywhere, and they're not very expensive. So get some if you can, but until then, eat more fish. We should all be loving our fish. Hawthorn. There's one for you. It's not necessary, but it can make your heart stronger. It does such a good job, I have to recommend that you clear this with your doctor first. He or she may need to adjust your medications. Hawthorn is hawthorn. It comes from the hawthorn bush. There are no other foods that are high in hawthorn. You simply need to get it by taking a hawthorn supplement. You can get that in any of the pharmacies, but check with your doctor first. Again, it's not necessary. It's just something that may help. Resveratrol. That's what's in wine that helps your heart. If it's in wine, though, it's also in grapes, red grapes. No, you don't need the alcohol, just the red grapes. This is part of eating a variety of foods, making sure you get plenty of fruits. Choose red grapes often. Of course, you can get resveratrol supplements, but they can be pretty pricey. I recommend the natural source in red grapes as your first choice. Magnesium. Magnesium protects your heart from heart disease and aids in keeping your blood pressure within normal range. There's been a lot of discussion about magnesium in the health food arenas. Some say that we are all deficient in magnesium and we need to make sure we get enough. Well, the answer is simple enough. We eat more grains, whole grains, and green leafy vegetables. Getting enough magnesium is part of eating healthy. No, you don't need to take magnesium supplements. Just switch to whole wheat bread or whole grain bread and eat your greens. Coenzyme Q10. This is just a new spin on an old idea. Do you remember the grapefruit diet? The grapefruit diet was simple. You eat a grapefruit half before each meal. The citric acid in the grapefruit was supposed to speed up your metabolism and cause you to burn more calories. It was all based on a biochemical reaction that occurs in all your cells. Citric acid is involved in the reaction, and therefore, the more citric acid, the more it would speed up the reaction and burn more calories. It was a nice theory, but it was completely void of reality. Now enter coenzyme Q10. It also is involved in the same cellular reaction as citric acid. And the theory is the same. The more coenzyme Q10, the more it will speed up the reaction and burn more energy in your cells. The only reality here is that coenzyme Q10 supplements increase the level of coenzyme Q10 in your bloodstream. Duh. Coenzyme Q10 is by far the most expensive supplement on the shelf. Don't fall for it. Instead of buying nutritional supplements, provide the best supplement for yourself. And this supplement is absolutely free. Laughter is the best medicine, and it's absolutely free. It relieves stress, tension, anxiety, and is by far the most beneficial to your heart and overall health. And the Bible tells us about this important medicine. It's in Proverbs 17:22. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. But the Bible also goes on to say that a broken heart or a broken spirit drieth the bones. So this is probably the best medicine for preventing heart disease, is laugh more. We talked about the supplements and what you really need to do to prevent heart disease, but some general rules to follow are to eat more fish, chicken, or turkey, and avoid or limit your beef and your pork. Limit your sausages and bacons and all the fried fatty foods, and try to keep your cholesterol down. This will keep your cholesterol down. One of the other things that you can do to keep your cholesterol down is take alfalfa supplements. Alfalfa binds the cholesterol and prevents you from absorbing it. Very effective in helping you to reduce your cholesterol. But remember, cholesterol isn't the only factor in this equation. You need to keep your blood pressure down. You need to keep your weight down. All those things are involved in preventing heart disease. Now I'd like to discuss some miscellaneous things that are very important topics of nutrition. And one of these is, believe it or not, called bitter melon. I know it sounds terrible, and that's probably why you can't find this melon in any grocery store. In fact, if you want it, you're going to have to grow it yourself. That, of course, will mean that you'll be gardening and what? You'll be more active. See how this all fits together? Now, fortunately, bitter melon is easy to grow. It's as easy to grow as cucumbers. However, unlike cucumbers, bitter melon provides important support to people who have diabetes. It helps you control your blood sugar. Now, because it's so effective, once again, it's important to ask your doctor first. He or she may need to adjust your insulin regimen or change your medication because bitter melon can be that effective. Let's talk about vitamins. Which vitamins should you take? Do you need to take a vitamin? Well, if you eat a healthy diet every single day, then you may not need a vitamin. But most of us don't do that, do we? We don't eat a perfect diet. Therefore, we all probably need to take a multivitamin. Okay, which one do you take? Well, you can spend a great deal of money on a multivitamin and not get any more nutrition than the much cheaper multivitamins. Conversely, the cheaper multivitamins tend to have vitamins and minerals in the form that are not easily absorbed or used by your body. Now, not easily absorbed is a nice way of saying that you don't absorb any of it. So, you need to purchase a multivitamin on the lower end of the cost scale, and I estimate it should be about 5 cents per day. And then make sure that the multivitamin does not have any of the oxide forms of the minerals. Then you want to make sure that it has some iron in it, because many multivitamins don't, and it should have between 10 and 18 milligrams of iron. The next thing you need to make sure that the vitamin D that it has is the vitamin D3, the D3 form of vitamin D. And I don't recommend any multivitamin that has more than 100% of the RDI for any vitamin or mineral. Now that's any, and it's only 100%, no more. Beyond 100%, you're taking a risk. No matter what anybody says, you're taking a risk if you're consuming a multivitamin with more than 100% of any given vitamin or mineral. Saw palmetto. Now that's important for the prostate health in men. It's been shown and it's been confirmed to help. However, special formulations and super duper powerful versions of it are just ways to get your money. Saw palmetto supplements should be fairly inexpensive. If they aren't inexpensive, then don't be duped, shop around. Saw palmetto can also help your body fight infection, so it can be beneficial to everyone, not just men. Vitamin D, the Jekyll and Hyde effect of vitamin D. What is that all about? Well, vitamin D deserves special attention because there's been a lot of research and study on the benefits of the vitamin. This has led many to suggest that we need more of it. In fact, some have ventured to say that we are all deficient in vitamin D, and has prompted many to throw away the RDA for vitamin D and promote megadoses of the vitamin. The RDA for vitamin D was increased from 400 to 600 by the National Research Council. However, some are saying that you should take 10,000 to 50,000 international units. The reckless claims ignore the fact that vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. The fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. Excess amounts of these vitamins are not excreted by your body. Instead, the excess is stored in your fat cells. So the more you take in excess, the more is stored in your body, and it just builds and builds until you begin to see the detrimental side effects. And what are the side effects of megadoses of vitamin D? Well, calcification of your soft tissue is one of them, and it's a serious one. This means that calcium starts to be deposited in your muscles and joints. The consequences are excruciating pain for months, if not years. And that's only if your diet is void of vitamin D from that point on to correct the errors of your ways. So that is a high price to pay by taking mega doses of vitamin D. So don't fall for it. Take only the RDA if you're taking a supplement, or the RDI. How slim do you need to be? If you're skinny, are you more healthy? If you're overweight, are you unhealthy? Well, actually, being underweight is the unhealthiest way to be. This kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It means you're not giving your body enough food, so how can you expect it to be healthy? Conversely, if you overeat and become overweight, you are working your body more. It is more difficult for your body to move around, to breathe, to pump blood to all your body's fat cells. Therefore, you can't expect your body to be healthy if you're overworking it constantly. There has to be a compromise and an optimum place for your body weight to be. And that place is slightly, and I say slightly, above your ideal body weight range. What's your ideal body weight range? Well, it's 105 pounds plus 5 pounds for every inch above 5 feet. And then add 10% and subtract 10% to get your range. That'll give you a range, or you can look it up in the insurance tables. But it's been shown that the healthiest place to be is slightly above that. So really, the healthiest way to be is to be a little bit chubby. How about sugar? Is sugar a problem? Well, of course it is. We all eat too much sugar, and the food companies are always adding sugar to our foods. But does sugar cause diabetes? Absolutely not. Sugar is not liquid diabetes. Once you have sugar or have diabetes, you need to be more careful and limit your sugar and only consume sugar as part of a well-balanced meal. Sugar does not cause your kids to bounce off the walls. Well, not any more than a full stomach would. And there are legitimate studies to show that sugar does not cause hyperactivity. Now, some also say that sugar feeds cancer or causes cancer. Well, neither is true. Avoiding sugar will not protect you from cancer or prevent cancer from spreading. And any statements to the contrary are based on deception and half-truths. Now, Adele Davis made a lot of money on these half-truths. And believe me, there are many others out there that are trying to do the same. So let's summarize. What is lifelong 120? How do you maximize your lifespan? Well, you eat at least 3 well-balanced meals a day. Probably the ideal would be 6 small meals a day. You have stable, chubby weight. It is unhealthy to be underweight, and it's unhealthy to be overweight, but it's even unhealthier to be unstable and constantly gaining and losing and gaining and losing. So make your weight stable, a little bit above your ideal body weight. You need to be active. You need to avoid stress and get your rest. Don't over-exercise, but don't avoid exercise either. No diet extremes. Drink tea, not coffee. Take a multivitamin, or make sure you eat your veggies and take your orange juice, or do both. And then limit fat, salt, and sugar. I'll never say it's okay to eat fat, salt, and sugar, but I'm also not going to tell you that you have to avoid it at all costs. Fat is one of the major nutrients along with protein and carbohydrate. We do need some fat in our diet. Salt and sugar are not necessary, but people can go to extremes avoiding them only to cause stress and eliminate the benefit of avoiding them because you've stressed yourselves out by eating, by being too extreme about what you can and cannot eat. So that's the summary. That's what you need to do in order to live long, lifelong 120. Medical nutrition therapy. Now we're getting to the heart of the matter. Lifelong 120 shows you and discusses how to live as long as possible by staying as healthy as possible throughout your life. And the federal government, Medicare, the Obama administration have all come together and decided that this is very important for Americans. We are on common ground with medical nutrition therapy. It is available to everyone on Medicare, and private insurance companies have followed suit and made sure that everyone has access to medical nutrition therapy. So what is medical nutrition therapy? It is the new Medicare benefit that all Medicare recipients have, and it comes with no copay, absolutely no cost to the patient, and it is intensive personal counseling from a registered dietitian. The main goal of medical nutrition therapy is to get you healthy and keep you healthy as long as possible. If you're living in an assisted living facility, the goal is for you not to go into a nursing home. If you are not in an assisted living facility, the goal is to help you to live independently at home. The key here is staying healthy through good nutrition so that you maintain your independence. Now, for Medicare recipients, medical nutrition therapy is available to anybody that has diabetes. That does not require anything other than a diagnosis for diabetes. You could be on the pill, you can be on the insulin, you could be on neither one of them. Just simply have a diagnosis of diabetes. The other person that can have medical nutrition therapy are people with kidney problems. This is for patients before they go on dialysis. Again, the goal of medical nutrition therapy is to help you to stay healthy enough to help your kidney to function properly, or good enough to where you avoid going on dialysis. So, medical nutrition therapy for patients that have kidney problems is designed to help you to eat right so that your kidneys can remain functioning and you can avoid dialysis for as long as possible. That's what medical nutrition therapy is. How do you get medical nutrition therapy? Well, you fill out this form that's shown on the screen. This form is available up front on the tables, or it's available on our website, which I'll show you in a few minutes. You simply fill out your name, need some other identification like your address. If you don't feel comfortable putting your address on here or the website, other means like your date of birth, so that whenever I request your referral from your physician, they will be able to make sure that the name is in fact the person that the doctor is seeing. So once we get this form filled out, we fill out a referral request, send it to your physician, and your physician approves the medical nutrition therapy, and then we begin the counseling. It involves 3 initial visits and ongoing quarterly follow-up. Each year we'll ask your physician for recertification so that we can continue quarterly follow-ups indefinitely. What this is your personal dietitian coming to you and making sure that you remain as healthy as possible through counseling, through coaching, through analyzing how you're eating, when you're eating, why you're eating, and coaching you, counseling you, directing you, guiding you, keeping you motivated, keeping you focused on the reason why you need to eat as well as possible, to stay as healthy as possible, to maintain your independence. And we've already talked about what independence is about. It's about doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, when you choose to do it, as often as you choose to do it. That's what independence is. And it's vitally important for everyone here to remain independent, and that's what medical nutrition therapy is all about. Okay, the website. Website is EdenApproach.com. www.edenapproach.com. All one word, EdenApproach.com. And this here on the screen is the opening page. And you'll see some things about it. This is where you go to get your online counseling, which is another service that all medical nutrition therapy patients have available on EdenApproach.com. Then we have You're on Common Ground. We'll cover that. And this is the button right here that you click to sign up for medical nutrition therapy. It's a similar form to what we have up here at the front table. You can fill out the one at the front table, or you can come to the website when you're at home and fill out the form there. And we'll cover that in a few minutes. Okay, let's click You Are on Common Ground. The Affordable Health Care Act makes good health and good nutrition available to all. It becomes even more important with the Affordable Health Care Act to get healthy and stay healthy. It's all about lifelong 120. That's what Affordable Health Care Act is about, all of us getting healthy and staying healthy. In order to sign up, you would click this button here, and then you come to a form. You simply type in this information. You can type in any questions or notes at the bottom and click the submit button right here at the bottom. And then I get that in my email and use the information you put in here to request a referral from your physician. Just like when you fill out the form at the that we have in the front, we'll take that form and we'll use that information to fill out a physician referral sheet, send it to your physician. Once we get a response, then we call you and get the remainder of the information, like your Medicare number or your insurance plan number. All that information we'll cover at a later date once we get permission from your physician. Okay, personalized online counseling. This is available to all people who are medical nutrition therapy, regardless whether you're Medicare or private insurance. You all can come and get personal online counseling. What is this all about? Well, it's anonymous, it's safe and secure, and it's available daily. Mainly it's about counseling and coaching and working with you and brainstorming with you and monitoring your progress, directing you, guiding you, coaching you, encouraging you, motivating you, all that stuff on a daily basis. And it becomes a very powerful and effective tool, mainly because it's personal. It's your life, and it can be very anonymous, or you're much more likely to be successful if you approach this on a daily basis with the guidance, support, and counseling of the Eden approach. Okay. In order to sign up for it, you click that online counseling button, and then it comes to this screen, and you can look at the demo. This has a description of what the online counseling is about, and you click submit to go to the demo screen, and this is the screen that you would come to, and you can use the demonstration program to get a feel for the online counseling, or you can go down here to the bottom and click some of the sessions that are already demonstrated. If you click initial session, you'll come to this screen, which is the web page that your personal web page once you sign up for the counseling. And what does this involve? Well, over here on the left you have your individual comments that you would put in, and on the right would be my comments, your coaching comments from your counselor. At the bottom here is where you type in what you've eaten. Now up at the top you have these other red buttons that help you, assist you in filling out what you've eaten. Now you can do it one of two ways, either way you want to do it. You could simply type in what you've eaten at breakfast, lunch, and supper, or you can go to these buttons up here, the easy estimator of the fast foods, the restaurants, and the grocery list, and that will help you to select the specific foods and give you an exact calorie count or an estimated calorie count using the estimator. Let's look at each one of these. But basically you type in or select from these different food lists, and it gives you up here your total calories for the day and a breakdown of the protein, fats, carbohydrates, and sodium, salt, sugar that you've eaten for the day. And then this becomes the the topic of discussion between you and the counselor using the two big boxes in the center. Okay, if you selected the calorie estimator, this is what comes up. Basically, it's an easy way to estimate your calories based on this short list of basic foods or food categories. And you simply click these drop-down boxes for breakfast, lunch, and supper and indicate how many servings of each of these different foods you've eaten, and it quickly estimates your calories. That's one of the lists. The other list is the fast food list. These are all your fast food restaurants: McDonald's, Burger King, Hardee's, Wendy's, Taco Bell. Just about anything you can think of is listed here, and all the foods that they serve are listed, and this is a big long list of foods. You just scroll down it. MD means McDonald's, BK would be Burger King, and you'll see those abbreviations in front of each food, but it tells you how many calories and how much protein, carbohydrate, and fat, and how much sodium is in each one of them. And you just click on them, indicate how many you had, and then click your submit button, and it'll estimate your calories for you. This is your restaurant list. You got all these restaurants that go across the top here. I think you'll find most of your favorite restaurants there, and you simply tell the computer how many servings you had of each one, and it'll estimate your calories for you. And then you go to your grocery list. This is an even longer list of basic groceries that you would buy at the grocery store, and you can indicate how many servings each one of those you had, and it will estimate your calories for you also. The end result is you get a list of foods that you ate for breakfast, lunch, and supper, a total for the day, and that gives you a benchmark to go by to see how well you did. Now, one of the magical things about this is by simply writing down or indicating on the website how much you ate, you are going to bring your eating and your eating habits to the forefront of your mind, and you will naturally begin to try to figure out ways to eat less. And then as the time goes on, you're going to have good days and bad days, and we discuss how to deal with that. How to deal with that so that eventually you get to the point where you are only eating because you're genuinely hungry, and you lose weight down to your best weight. And you stay there. You stay there because you have learned a new way of eating, and it doesn't occur to you anymore to eat more than you need. And that's what the Eden approach is all about. That's what the online personal counseling is all about. One of the keys here is that we're with you every single day so that you can be successful in changing your eating habits and eating the best way possible and living the lifelong 120 way that will extend your life for as long as you're supposed to live. Now, anybody can sign up for online counseling. It's not just for medical nutrition therapy people. If you want to pay $29.95 a month, you can have that personal, everyday counseling to guide you, coach you, motivate you, work with you to build the personal set of eating habits that keep you at the weight that you need to be. So tell your friends. Anybody can sign up for this. You just click the sign me up button. It comes to this page, and you type in this basic information. You can choose your own name and your own password, your email, and then questions and notes, and click submit. You could set up a email account with Gmail or Yahoo just for this, and you can remain anonymous. And this is very appealing to some people because they may be somewhat embarrassed about how they eat or what they eat or how much they eat, but you really need to deal with that. Okay, if the best way is to remain anonymous, fine. Set up your own bogus or secret email account. Sign up for counseling, and you can remain completely anonymous. Whatever it takes for you to be successful. That's what we're all about. And that's what I have. This is the Eden Approach Lifelong 120 program and the online personal counseling program and medical nutrition therapy, available to all Medicare residents and in private insurance. Also, we'll allow medical nutrition therapy with Medicare patients. There's no copay. It's completely free. We bill Medicare directly. With private insurance, there may be a copay or may not. We'll let you know that before you even get started. But I don't think that the private insurance companies are require more than Medicare does. So my name is Bill Schuman. It's the Eden Approach, the Lifelong 120 program. I hope to hear from every one of you so we can get you started on eating healthy, staying healthy, and living the lifelong 120. Thank you very much, and look forward to hearing from you.